Hey, what's going on everybody? Justin here, and in this video we're going to be going over my TBR for the Monsterathon, which is a really cool monster themed readathon that's taking place over the course of the entire month of September. It's created by Kate over at Chapter Kate. She's got a really awesome channel. I've been following her for a really long time. Definitely encourage you guys to check out some of her content. Really good, especially on like some mental health issues and everything like that. Just really good stuff. I'll leave her link down below. And like I said, she created this readathon, and there's going to be 3 teams. There's going to be the Beasts, the Haunts, and the Conspiracies. And I'm definitely joining Team Conspiracies. And yeah, there's going to be about 10 different prompts, and I'm trying to keep kind of like the monster, horror, scary, terror type thing kind of going on. But there's different ways you can earn points for your team, but I'll let you guys watch Kate's video for that. But before we begin with my TBR, I'm going to do a shameless self-promotion plug because I can. If you guys don't know, I make some bookmarks and stuff on like an Etsy shop made out of mahogany and cherry and everything. But I made some team-themed readathon, or team-based bookmarks for this readathon. I did this for the Book Junkie Trials, and it went over pretty well, I thought. So let me just show you the designs I have for the 3 teams. So we got the Haunts here, right there, and these ones are in African mahogany. And we got Team Beasts. Hopefully I'm putting them actually like in front of the camera like really good, and hopefully, I don't know if the glare off the light will be that bad off these or not. I don't know, what did I just show you? Haunts and Beasts and Team Conspiracies. So yeah, I think overall, I think they're kind of cool. I really enjoy them. Like I said, over the Book Junkie Trials, everyone seemed to enjoy the sort of team-based bookmarks as well. But there's my shameless plug for my bookmarks and everything. I'll leave my Etsy shop link down below as well. So now let's just get on to the prompts. Alright, prompt number 1 is Classic Creepers, is to read a classic, or not a classic book, a book featuring a classic like kind of horror monster. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a classic book like Dracula or Frankenstein or anything like that. So for classic monsters, I'm going to check out this book that I just got a couple weeks ago, and it's The Dark Powers of Tolkien by David Ray. First of all, this book is just really cool. It's like a flexi-bound, like kind of faux leathery type book, but that cover with like one of the Nazgul on it is just really cool. So obviously we're going to have like orcs in the Balrog, Nazgul, goblins, stuff like that. So definitely some classic horror monsters. But yeah, inside the book is just really cool. Lots of like little like charts and maps sometimes, and like illustrations and stuff. Just think it's really cool. Some of the images are pretty sick. So yeah, I think this book will fit the bill really nicely, and it'll kind of go along with sort of my Tolkien collection that I'm trying to build up a little bit. Alright, prompt number 2. What big eyes you have? Just to read a book over 400 pages. I'm going with some fantasy books here that I need to start getting going on the series. I'm going with Sword of the North, which is the 2nd book in the Grimm Company by Luke Skull. I read the first book, the first month I started book 2 back in January of last year. So yeah, it's about high time I start getting going with the series. From what I do remember in the book series, there was a couple scenes where there was some like undead sorcery stuff kind of going on, like reanimated corpses and everything. It wasn't like a major theme of the book, but I think it was kind of hinted at that it's going to be like kind of a thing that's going to start occurring more often. I really did enjoy the first book because one of the main characters was just Davros Cole was just super annoying. But I'm hoping, since this book is called Sword of the North, which is the title of a different character, Brodar Kane, just that's an awesome name, Brodar Kane. Hoping I enjoy this one a little bit more. And like I said, it's about time I keep going with the series. Alright, third prompt is Chimera, which is to read a book classified under multiple genres. And so I'm gonna pick 2 non-fiction things. They're not even books. They're actually great courses from the teaching company that I listen to like every month. The first one is going to be, and I thought this one worked really well with Team Conspiracies, is The Real History of Secret Societies by Professor Richard Spence. And I just thought this was like a really cool idea. It just came out like a week ago or something like that. My only concern is it's like kind of co-sponsored, co-worked with, I guess, the teaching company with the History Channel, which the History Channel over the past like decade or two is kind of, the history kind of aspect of the History Channel has been kind of, weak as of late. So I'm not really sure how this one is going to work. Though they've worked with like things like the Culinary Institute of America, the Smithsonian, National Geographic, stuff like that. So it's still high quality, kind of like collaboration. So I'm hoping this first kind of adventure with the History Channel still works out to be really, informative and good. And like I said, I think, History of Secret Societies is going to go really good with my conspiracies. So there's going to be like ancient history, modern history, kind of mismatches of like psychological stuff, I think, and conspiracies, everything like that. So that's kind of why I went with that for the Chimera prompt. And let's see, prompt number 4 is going to be the second great course that I want to listen to, and it's the prompt is The Real Monsters, which is to read a book featuring monstrous humans. And I'm going with The Dark Side of Human Nature by Professor Daniel Breyer. I don't really know anything about this one, but I think it's going to be all about the philosophy and psychology of bad people, I guess. And not necessarily just, evil people per se, but just sort of why people make like either really bad decisions or kind of what leads them, into like really bad deviant behavior, I'm assuming. I'm not exactly sure what it's going to be about, but it seemed like it fit pretty good with the prompt, like, monstrous humans. All right, book number 5, I keep saying book, well, I guess prompt number 5, Unsightly, is to read a comic, graphic, or manga featuring a monster. I'm not doing really well with this one. Just because I don't have any in my collection, in my library at all, because I've never really read this stuff. But I think I've decided which one I'm going to go with, and I'm going to go with Hellsing. I wrote the author down somewhere, I'm pretty sure. I think it's Kota Hirano. It's one of the only animes or manga adaptations or whatever that I've like watched ever. So, but I really enjoyed it. If you guys don't know what Hellsing is, you probably have if you watch anime stuff and everything. Because it's pretty old now, I think. But anyways, you have a secret society who has hired Alucard, which is essentially Dracula, kind of in the modern era in Britain, and they go off and kill other supernatural stuff that they don't like. But, by the end of the book, or end of the series, you got, like, Britain being taken over by, like, undead Nazis and stuff, and it's just pretty insane, just stuff kind of going off all over the place. But the humor is, like, really dark, gallow humor, and Alucard is just like a badass, hilarious character. So definitely going with Hellsing as my sort of like graphic novel prompt book for that prompt. Yeah, doing terrible today. All right, prompt number 6, Angry Mob, is to read a book recommended by more than one person. And what I think I'm going to do is listen to the audiobook of Gardens of the Moon by Stephen Erickson. I don't know if there's really a lot of horror per se in this one, but it seems like really bleak, kind of like gritty, grim dark stuff, with like a lot of sorcery and everything. So I'm not sure, like I said, if there's going to be horror monsters, but it seems like it'd be a good candidate for something like that. And then at least we'll have a kind of like that spooky feel, especially with a name like Gardens of the Moon, and it's like kind of like all that black and turquoise and stuff. I thought, it probably will have some kind of creepy stuff going on in the book. So that's kind of why I'm going with that one for this prompt, for this readathon. All right, prompt number 7, Sacrifice. Read a book you've seen in a non-haul video. This one is one of the ones I've had a really, really hard time with. I don't watch that many unhaul videos, to be honest, but the one I do remember that I actually have a book of, it's totally not horror related at all. It's fantasy, but is Carrie Louise Reed's got rid of some of her Wheel of Time books, including The Great Hunt, which is the second book in the Wheel of Time, and I've read the first one, Eye of the World, so I guess I'm going to go with The Great Hunt, because it's like one of the only books I have that kind of fits that prompt. Yeah, definitely not horror at all. It's literally the complete opposite for like kind of fantasy stuff. It's like really high, glamorous, epic fantasy. So, it's not really scary at all. But hey, I guess I just take it as it is. Though I probably won't get through Gardens of the Moon and The Great Hunt because they're both like really giant books. I don't even know how long this one, like 700 or 800 pages, and I think Gardens of the Moon was like just a tiny bit shorter. I guess it's only 600, but. Yeah, I'll probably just do one or the other, unless I'm having like a really, 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 really good month, but we'll see. Alright, prompt number 8 is for Team Bus, and I'm going to do, instead of doing the group read, I'm going to try and do a book for each of the prompts for each of the 3 teams. So we got beasts, and the prompt is read a book with monsters with plants or animal traits. I'm going to go with the book I showed in my Monsterathon tag video. Definitely go check that one out. I'll put a card like right there or whatever, where I was giving recommendations and stuff. And I've read several Conan books and like the Complete Chronicles of Conan from like the Robert E. Howard stuff. But this one definitely has like a evil demonic tree thing, and it's Conan the Outcast. And this one is by Leonard Carpenter. But yeah, you know, all kind of Conan stories, you kind of know what you're getting into, but it's just kind of just, you know, it's like a guilty pleasure read for me, I guess. You know, just sword and sorcery hack and slash Conan stuff. But that one had like a weird evil tree on it, so I think that goes pretty well with a beast animal, or beast with like plant traits. So that's why I'm going with that one. Number 9 is Team Haunts, and it's read a book with undead or dead monsters. And I'm going with Dreams of Steel, which is the 5th book in the Chronicles of the Black Company by Glenn Cook. It's probably my favorite fantasy series. It's at least in the top 2 or 3, but probably my favorite fantasy series. And each of the books is really different, with like different plot structures and some like a lot of different like kind of main side characters. Croaker's always kind of the main character, but different side characters take like real more importance than others in different books. And there's always like undead or you know kind of animated stuff kind of going on. They're not usually like the main thrust of the book, but with kind of all the dark sorcery and just like weird creatures and stuff, usually they find a way to kind of pop in there for at least a couple scenes, whether that's you know, the Dominator or some of the the named ones or things like that. You know, they just sort of kind of come back. So I'm definitely going with Dreams of Steel. And that's like uber grim. That's like original grimdark stuff before grimdark was even like a genre. And prompt number 10 is Conspiracies. Read a book with alien, robot, or sci-fi based creatures. And I'm going with a book I was supposed to read this month, but I know I'm not really gonna. I'm like 99% confident I'm not gonna have time to get to. And it's The Flight of the Eisenstein by James Swallow. This is the 4th book in the Horus Heresy series. This one's definitely gonna have some weird sci-fi, outer space alien things because I do know in this book, Garrow is captaining and commandeering sort of the Eisenstein, and he's going to go through the warp. And the warp is just some weird, messed up stuff that like lets you kind of like not time travel, like go at like light speed essentially. But there's some weird creatures like out in the warp, like demon, chaos, monster things that kind of can like board your ship and stuff if you're not careful. So that's definitely going to be happening. In The Flight of the Eisenstein. Like I said, it's the 4th book. Even though I've read like 6 or 7 or 8 books now, I've kind of been doing them out of order, so I want to try and get back into doing them kind of in order, even though you don't really have to. But yeah, this will definitely have a ton of sci-fi, beast, monster thing, alien things, yeah, in there. So that's what I'm going with, Flight of the Eisenstein. So there you guys have it. Those are the 10 books I'm going to try and get through in the month of September for the Monsterathon Readathon. Definitely very fantasy heavy for me, but I was trying to kind of keep in theme with sort of, you know, the monster horror kind of theme for the Readathon. And then, like I said, just those 2 kind of great courses to get some nonfiction sort of in there. I think both of those are 24 lecture ones. But anyway, so yeah, definitely check out my Monsterathon tag video, which is essentially the same thing as this, but with books I've already read before, just for like inspiration and stuff. Check out Chapter Kate's announcement video as well. Check out my Etsy shop if you want to get some cool bookmarks. Definitely appreciate that stuff. Just remember to like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff if you enjoyed the video. And always remember, whether you're reading about crazy horror monsters or not, just remember, read victoriously.